Hi, it's Marlo from Wild Food UK, out foraging in the lovely Herefordshire countryside again. And now I'm going to tell you about one of our favourite plants. From an edibility point of view, we think it's one of the best. We've managed to get it on some very high-class restaurant menus, and I've had it tasted by the London Food Room Library, and they think that it's got a unique and wonderful flavour. So I'll introduce you to the plant and how to identify it. First of all, over here we've got the mature plant, and these are the mature plant leaves. These ones are quite separated. Normally they'd be a bit bigger, like these ones here or these ones down here. You can see it's an umbellifer. We've got this umbellifer flower head, and what's important actually is the number of stems on this flower head. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's about 12 or 13 stems on this flower head. The reason to look for that is there's a brother for this plant, giant hogweed, Heracleum mantegatzianum, which is not very good to touch. If you suffer from skin irritations, just touching it can be quite bad for you. But worse than that, it's got highly phototoxic sap. That means that if you get the sap on your skin and your skin in the sun, your skin will burn. And if you have a look on Google for hogweed burns, you'll see some pretty horrific burns where people have actually been hospitalised from the sap from giant hogweed. Now, I showed you there's about 12 stems on giant hogweed, which looks very similar. There would be 20 plus stems on that flower head. It would also be, at this point, probably 4 metres tall, and the flower head would be much larger. It's called giant hogweed for a reason. It was brought over by the Victorians because it's a giant, huge flower, and they thought that would be good. Unfortunately, now we're trying to get rid of it because of the problems it causes. This is a native plant, common hogweed, Heracleum spondylium, and there's lots of edible bits to the plant. This is the plant. This is how to recognise it. And down here, we've got a young plant. We call hogweed a cut and come again plant because if you cut it back, you get a load of good new growth to eat. And this bit here has obviously been cut back at some point throughout the year because we've got the young shoots. And I think these 3 here are what we would consider perfect. I'm going to be a little bit careful with the sap of this plant. It is still mildly phototoxic. Same as parsnip sap and other vegetables that you grow in the garden. I don't want to get it on my skin because it is a sunny day today, but that there is a lovely hogweed shoot. This stem here is quite thick. You will get them much thicker. We treat this like asparagus. That's not to say that it tastes anything like asparagus. It's got a unique flavour, tastes absolutely lovely. But when I say we treat it like asparagus, we would chuck it in a frying pan with some boiling water for a couple of minutes just to soften it up and get rid of these hairs. And then chuck some nice herby butter in, fry it for another couple of minutes, and you've got that as a really, really lovely buttery vegetable. The leaves can be used as a green. We often just leave them attached and fry the whole thing up at once, but you can use the leaves separately as a green. They've got a slightly different flavour to the stem, and some of the chefs that we've introduced this plant to only use the leaves. The stems can get quite woody, but you just have to boil them a little bit more later on in the year. But we say cut and come again plant because if we were to cut these mature plants back now, we'd get a whole load of shoots like this within the next few weeks, and you can continue to do that right through the year from early spring through to autumn. It's June at the moment, but this plant would have come up in the middle of spring. You would have started seeing hogweed shoots early spring. And if you just find a patch with 3 or 4 of the plants and keep cutting them back, you'll keep getting these lovely, lovely shoots to eat. We really like them. We use them as a vegetable. We use them in soups, stews, stir fries. I'll have them with a fry up in the morning. They're just really tasty. The second part of the plant, if you let the plant grow rather than continually cutting it back, the second part of the plant that we go after are these sort of broccoli heads. Here's one here, which come just before the flowers have opened. If I take that, now I use these exactly as you would use broccoli. They've got a lovely flavour. I'm going to make a broccoli cheese out of this and a load of others that we've picked already tonight. There's loads of hogweed around. It's a very, very common plant. We've got, I don't know, a mile or so of it growing along this lane that we're on here. You will find it alongside every country road, and most of those places the council or the farmers will come and cut the area back quite regularly, so you'll keep getting these young shoots. But let a few grow, because the broccoli side of it, the broccoli florets, are absolutely lovely. We don't really make much use of these big open leaves. You can use them in soups. We prefer to go for the young stuff or the broccoli florets. And then lastly, I think there's some more over here. But if we have a look, these are the seeds that come from hogweed. Lots and lots on every flower head. Now, this isn't particularly great tasting just raw. There's the seeds. I'll have a little nibble. Not too bad, but they've got a very strong flavour, and that is a flavour of cardamom. So if you use cardamom in your cooking, all you need to do is go out and pick a load of hogweed seeds, dry them, and you can use them as a cardamom substitute. Use them fresh if you want to as well. So hogweed, one of our favourite plants. You'll find it growing everywhere in the country, so you've got no excuse now to not get out and find it and try it for yourself. That's about it for now, so if you want to find out more, go to www.wildfooduk.com.